But alright. Suffice it to say, back when he was a 3-down, and he was a 3-down for quite a while. In case you weren't aware. He actually shot up pretty fast from like 3 to 9. But for a while there, yeah, he was 3 for quite some time, and he was impressing everybody with his play. Now, you'll have to forgive me immediately. I've been trying to avoid going over games like this, but for this game, we are going to grin and bear the Chinese Fuseki. I know, everyone's been playing it, and everybody's been playing it for like the last ever. So it is a thing that we're going to have to endure. I actually didn't realize, I didn't process how much this has actually been played until I began looking for a game from back then. And then I realized a lot of the games that are on my hard drive, a lot of them were Chinese still. They were still Chinese opening, either low or mini or something. So yeah, we've been playing Chinese openings just ridiculously for a long time. But alright, that's fine. Black, who is not Lee Sedol, played the low Chinese. Nowadays, if we were going to approach this, we'd usually approach from the inside because that's just what's in style right now. There are many okay answers here, that's one of them. You are also completely able to approach, let's say, on any of these points if you so wish. You can approach on these points if you so wish. Could even take the star point. We've got enclosures that are completely fine. And if for some reason you want to do some kind of framework versus framework, you could even technically approach from the outside. So just because you see something regularly does not mean it's the only thing. Any of these moves are okay here. And in this case, we actually see large knight. Okay. Makes it a little bit harder for black to take an extension clear across the bottom of the board. Why? Because if we picture that stone, we see that it can't really get a base, right? So if it gets pincered, it's just going to be under attack. So we can all see that quite easy. So interesting idea, interesting idea. And hello to everybody in the chat. So alright. Black says, I'm expanding. White says, no you're not. Black says, fine, I guess I'll just change directions then. Since you don't want me to expand, we're going to make this game about territory. Not a bad idea, given that white's flashing a large knight on the bottom, which, spoiler alert, in case you did not know, large knights aren't usually good for territory. They're usually better for influence, because the 3-3 completely wide open. Okay. So, alright. Basic idea. Keep all them moves separated. Even if we don't know Joseki, we could easily find this, as I'm sure everybody is aware simply by saying to ourselves, I see 1 stone, I see 2 stone. I'm going to prevent these from connecting up. I misclick. How? How do I screw up the tree at move 11? How is that possible? I'm sure black thought about the move, maybe? Okay, no he didn't ever think about that move. It has no bearing on anything. It is 100% bad move. But that's okay. That's okay. He goes into the 3-3, like I meant to click. White blocks. Black gets to connect. White threatens to cut through because easy peasy capture. Black connects. And white decides to approach. How did we find out this approach? Because he's got influence and he's got to do something with it. Now, you might be saying to yourselves that I'm kind of going through this game a little bit fast and not really spending a whole lot of time on the intro. That's also true because I intend to go over 2 games from 2002 today. There were 2 really good games I wanted to go over. This is one of them. If I am going too fast, do let me know, and I will slow down. You can right-click on that node. No, you can't fix the tree. I'm sorry. as you can actually see on Twitch, you don't have that option in when you're actually on the server. You can only do that offline mode. When you're actually doing a game on the server, you only have view node and edit node name. Alright, so yeah, white approaches, black backs off, and then white decides to build. He's not going to go for territory. He's not going to try to play safe and get an extension. He's going to say, all of my top R belong to me. Okay, okay. Bold decision to make. Black now has to decide what to do. Any ideas there? What are interesting things for black to consider now? If you're black, you're looking at this board. What are the points of interest? Not necessarily moves that you want to play now, but what are some things that we'd be looking at? Some moves that we'd be keeping in the back of our head for later. I don't think as black we'd be keeping R5 in the back of our head. No way. Black would enclose high every time. You never enclose low to low. That'd be weird. Let's see what else we have here. But yeah, R5 there would be very strange. Let's see, we have O13 has been said. Ooh, I like that one immediately. I like that one immediately. Yes, basic idea. We can expand and limit our opponent at the same time. Anytime we're doing two things at once, we are probably off to the right foot. What else do we have here? Suggestions. So, good move there. K4. Expanding clear across the bottom. Interesting idea for black, but keep in mind if you do that, a pincer ensures you cannot get a base. So be very, very careful on taking that extension. Some might call it greedy. K15-ish. Okay, we go from a greedy move to a bit of a slow move. That's saying, you know what? All I want are just these lines. Oh, wait, sorry. For black, yeah, okay, yeah, reducible. Sorry, I forgot what color that was supposed to be. Interesting reduction. Could play it, could play it, could play it. Anything else? D14 was another one. Ooh, I almost like this. Why do you like D14, Eternity? Why do you like D14? It's so interesting when people like meet me halfway on the move that I'm looking for. Keep slow, expand speed. Oh, almost. I like it because of the Agi that still exists at F17, right? We can still play the Hane, and if we do, we can imagine ourselves being cut. So then we can play the Atari, and if we have D14 there, then this becomes like almost a solid wall here. So lots of good follow-ups. Alright, I like most of these moves. But approach the side first. Okay, okay. Well, I think it was no. Who was it? No, Honey Badger. Who did get the actual move correct. And by the actual move, I mean I just killed a tree again because he kicks first. So, aside from that, great. This lovely little move that gets to expand and limit white's potential. You're doing two things at once, you probably found yourself a professional move. Congratulations. Now, it is white's turn to figure out what to do. Most people would say, well, I've got to defend this now, clearly, otherwise he's going to pincer me and I'm going to be under attack. But white says, cool, fight me, and approaches. Interesting choice. Aggressive choice. It's almost like he likes to fight or something. I'm not sure about that, Eternity. There might be truth to that. There might be truth to that. Black backs off, I can only assume because he maybe didn't want to get into this. Or because he realized that if he plays high, White's got to move on the bottom, he'd have to play low, otherwise that approach is pretty much free expansion. So, approach is low. Moves for a base. Black gets aggressive. Decides to decide and say that, yeah, I'm taking your stone. You're not going to settle here easy. Okay. White descends, forces the kill, thus keeping Anji. Threatens a Hane, getting himself a little bit more to work with. Black doesn't back off though. Black plays the Hane, trying to be very, very severe here. Which I like. This will make me uncomfortable. This is really, really quickly making me feel like I've done something bad here as White. Because, I mean, how do we do anything here? I mean, we can't just extend into a bamboo, because that's probably the slowest move on the planet. We definitely can't do that. We might be able to Hane, but then I guess we're just expecting our stone to get a Tari or something. Can't really jump out. So what do we do now? White says we're gonna cut. We're gonna create complicated problems and have fun. Okay. Black says I can create complicated problems too. Such as the problem that you have 2 cut points. That is indeed a problem. But White says, I get to fix my cut point in Sente, otherwise I'm taking R4 easy peasy. So Black attacks. Or Ataris, rather. My hand said the right thing, my mouth did not. And now if you think that White's actually going to connect here and defend the cut point, he doesn't. He actually creates more complication. Despite the fact that there is a cut point there, and despite the fact that that cut point seems like it puts an entire group deep behind enemy lines. It's like, I said I don't care. Why would he say that? Does he think that he's still going to be able to live easy peasy regardless? Why do you think he would allow that cut? Why on earth would we invite this cut? Anyone have any thoughts on that at all? Because it seems kind of crazy. If Black cuts, White can get a wall to the left and claim the bottom. Yep. Very true. You can develop the left side. That's one of the things that I've always liked about Lee Sedol's style. Because, I mean, a lot of us would just be like, alright, I'm protecting that cut immediately. And that's what I'm doing. That's my plan here. I'm just going to connect out now. I guess he kills my stones. And then we're just going to make some sort of jumpy, outy, shapey thingy. And for many of us, that's what we do. But there's no development that way. So White's just like, okay, I'm gonna play this way instead, and if you want those stones, I have development still. So that's interesting. Black, on the other hand, does not take him up on the cut, but I did find that cut to be very, very interesting. So he says that if you want that group to die off, you have to find another way to kill it. Because you're not getting that stone, you're not developing the left-hand side. Your group is still weak, now what do we do? Well, white says, I guess I need to live here then. So, jumps out. Still a lot of Aji to work with against those 2 stones. So black says, I'm going to Atari. Allows white to follow up. And now, from this board, you probably wouldn't think what's going to happen is going to happen. But it does, so I mention it. Basic shape we see all the time. It seems that white's getting out. Yeah, this is the game. This is the actual game. So it looks like white's getting out, but Blackstone is in trouble, so he decides to cut himself to freedom. White turns, forcing black to connect, and threaten to try to capture. Can't capture, we can connect up, so now we need plan B. Looks like white stones are once more in trouble. That is a pretty cool move. It's threatening oh so very much. Can get out, can go under, can cut through. What is black's response going to be? His response is to try to strengthen his cutting point by attacking the bottom stones. Try to make P11 stronger while not responding to the stones that are trying to live. Okay. So we Atari. Next on up. White tries to come out. Black keeps him in. Now, this clearly can't be held. When white turns, obviously black cannot block. Way too many Atari. Something's got to give. So black plays this first. White says, okay, you can have that. I'm going to take your corner instead. Black says, alright, don't mind if I do. And thus they've traded. Which is pretty much what white was open to in the very, very beginning of the game, right? Like, way back here. The cut was open because white was completely fine with the idea that I'm going to give you something, and I'm going to get something in return. And now we have here the exact same mentality. It's like, I'm going to give up something, and I'm going to get something in return. In exchange, well, the return is going to be your corner and your stones that are now dead. But that is definitely something. White says, I will Atari now. And black backs off. And white continues to build up. And so does black now, because these stones are being hopelessly killed in the center without even a fight. But white's getting a lot on top as well. So each player's getting something. The question is, who's getting more? FC, that is one huge top. Yeah, that thing is enormous. Very true, very true. So is that exchange intentional? Yeah. We can see, let's see, where was the move? Maybe around 55? Yeah, around here, we can see that black wanted to strengthen himself against these stones to kill the right-hand side. But white wasn't going to have any of that, and offered up an exchange here. It's like, you can attack my bottom, but I'm going to attack your corner. So he got this, white got that. Happy exchange. But alright, it's black's turn. So now it's his turn to try to get something as well. So he expands all the way over to here, trying to get that middle for himself. But as FC has pointed out, that is a large, large top. We don't have to be jealous of Black's territory. It's not like the game was completely even, and then, oh my god, look at everything that Black's now trying to get. So White simply takes some more territory. Black invades, threatens to live. White says, okay, if you're going to invade me, I'm going to reduce you. Black lives. White goes for a larger invasion. Now we're getting dangerously close to the whole connecting up idea. But Black has an idea of his own. His idea, apparently not quite as well thought out, but we can see what it is. It's like, I'm going to cut off your 2 stones, and I'm going to kill them too, so says Black. To which White replies, then I'm just gonna not let you cut me off? Is that a thing I can do? Do you mind if I just not die here? That'd be great. But alright. Now the question turns into, how severe was this seemingly forcing move? Black descends and asks, did I get all the bottom? Is that all mine now? Is all that my territory? Because if it is, I'm happy. But White is White. And he calmly replies, are you kidding? That's not your territory yet. Okay. White has now pushed Black into panic mode, trying to live. Fixes shape. Keeps profit. Forces Black to go back and live. And then sees if he can't perhaps get some kind of kill here. But to get a kill, we have to keep him disconnected. So White attaches. White does seem to be in control of the game. So we can see the shape that Black is making now. And the question resides, can we survive from this? Did I do a boo-boo? No, I didn't. Yeah, there, there, there. Black's still trying to live. Very, very large co. That's like for the entire left-hand side. That's not good. Definitely take. Tries to get the other eye. Goes to co. Okay. We can see what's being fought for right now. I'm missing someone. Who am I missing? Oh, right, take the co. Herp. White drops down. Says, this is a threat. Black says, so is this. Before going back and playing. Trying to rob White of force moves, I guess, for his own co-threats. Tries to die, not that. Tries to poke through. Can't poke through. Threaten to connect up underneath. Can't allow that to happen. And now here, let's see, where is it? Where is it? Something really amusing happens. Yes, I have aspirations to become a lumberjack. That's why I keep ruining the tree in so many different ways. You had like one, so it's just 2, right? Yeah, we just ruined it twice. It's okay. Now, in my defense, Bob Ross would be very, very happy, okay? He doesn't like trees that just look like telephone poles. He likes trees with character. And that's what I've done. I've given this tree character. It's got a bunch of... Exactly. Alright, so what was going on? Oh, right. Responded here. White took. Black said I'd kill you. White said that would suck. How about I connect up? Yeah, that's a threat. So we return to this. And that. Wow, this code went on longer than I thought it did. Okay, see? That's more character. That's more character. Block it off. Black just says, forget this co. I'm just going to live. And all's gonna be fine. White connects. So it looks like black's completely fine, right? Is black fine? Is black alive? Is black dead? What is the state of black right now? Everyone should get it. What is the state of black group? Indeed, Seki. Oh, Nozumi. No, it is in fact alive, because white can't take H or F1. Right? Otherwise, the tree gets into more character. Did it intentionally that time. And we can't kill it. Alright, so that's alive. That one was an accident. How did I miss a move? Oh, right. Connected, descended, and resigns. The idea here is that if we could pressure white's group that has no eyes, then things are going to go well for us here. Such are black's thoughts. But with his one move, white has ensured he has eyes. And thus the problem. Can't keep this group eyeless. There's no possible way that we're going to be able to attack it for long. So black goes ahead and resigns. I love the exchange in this, though. I mean, back in 2002 when I first, was it 2002? Early 2002? Whenever. When I first looked at this game, I still didn't really have a handle on the whole you can give up large parts of the board and still be okay kind of deal. Exchanges didn't really come naturally to me. I really wanted to just kill everything. I would exchange... Yeah, almost nothing. I tried to hold on to just about everything. It was really, really bad. But then you see games like this, played by really good professionals, where repeatedly, I mean, it's not a mistake that they left the cut earlier on. It's not a mistake that the middle got killed. It's just like, there's other things on the board that I can take. There's no reason to care about those stones right now. And so they just offered them up. That's always good to see. That's always good to see. Like I mentioned, though, there are two games that I wanted to go over. I think. Yes, there were. Both of the games are Lee Sedol. And interestingly enough, in a complete change of everything, both of these games involved a ko. Now, white didn't exactly win this ko in the sense that we're accustomed to, right? I mean, nothing's dead. In the next game, we're going to see almost the exact same thing. So I can kind of blame Lee Sedol's games on the reason why I never win ko's. Because the games that I studied of his, it kind of looked like he never did either. And we're going to continue with one of those. So I'm going to close this board and open up another one. I will be right back. Alright, it occurred to me last game I put D instead of P, but you get the idea. That's how it was written on my sheet. But that's fine. Alright, so this game, he's not against another 3-dan, he's against an 8-dan, so a bit of a stronger opponent. So we would expect interesting things to occur. And we do. Because Lee Sedol was by far not a pushover. As some people might think, they might see the 3 and be like, oh my god, he must have been easy to kill. No, Lee Sedol was never easy to kill. Alright, so this time he's black. And this time you'll be happy to know that there is no Chinese. There is, however, something that we don't really see all that often. And that is an enclosure in this fashion. Usually we see the other side, right? And developing the right-hand side and forcing our opponents to approach here, yada yada yada. Some people don't like this way because they feel it's a little bit slow, because it's kind of hard to build on the right-hand side given our stone is low at R5, and it encourages white to get an extension that they completely love at this point. So, yeah. FC points out K4 now big point for both. No surprise that it's completely reflexive for just about every player to take it. So, not really seen all that much these days, but still playable. What's the upside of playing like this? For me, it's always felt like the upside of playing like this is you typically know you're definitely playing for territory. Making this game into an influential game is really, really difficult. It also forces a response out of your opponent. I mean, you know they're going to play on the bottom, so you know you're going to approach their 3-4, and you can predict what their response is going to be. I don't know, stylistically speaking, it feels a little slow to me, but I don't know. It's still a fine move. Still taking points. And avoids most common Fuseki, that's true. That's true. Alright, so black approaches high, because why not? And if anyone has seen my... Did I release that one? Yeah, I did. If anyone has seen my Go Shorties, they might find this one amusing. Because black gets pincered very, very tightly. To which he responds with the diagonal that I mentioned in one of my videos recently. I didn't say it's a bad one, I said it's one that we don't see very often. Because what we're going to see here is really, really hard to use. Because we see black play here, white says get the heck out of my corner, and then take some territory. White is left with only one thing to do, and get influence. So typically speaking here, people usually like being on the white side of things. Wow, that's an awkward sentence. Rather than being black in this position. Because the question becomes like, how am I using the influence that I'm clearly forced to obtain here? So black just says, you know what? If I'm going to get influence, let's get all the influence that I can. So he goes for all the influence. The entire left-hand side to my opponent in exchange for influence I don't know how to use? Absolutely. Let's get more of it. It's like, alright. Very, very basic exchange. White got territory, black has influence. What do you think? Anyone in envying black's position right now? Is anyone like, oh my god, if only I could get this in my games, I would always win? White queen envies black's position. B is still thin, I will agree. If I could get black's sense of shape, sure. Well, yeah. Okay. For me, I always get a little bit nervous here. I always get a little bit more nervous, because I like having actual cash in my hand. But alright, black has Sente, so he takes large point. White says, I approach. And influence. We have influence. We have influence. Right? So, time to pick up influence. Gonna pincer. See what happens. And then white bugs out and says there's nothing for me here, and reapproaches. This is why I picked the game. This is why the game made it into my favorites list. Because I was okay with direction of play. I can understand, like, okay, I'm pincering this if I was in black's position because I wanted influence, and I can see how that pincer might be good here and how my stones are working together. And then suddenly you're playing someone and some jackass just decides to live everywhere. And that kind of play always angers you, because especially if you're at the time you have no idea how to take advantage of it. So this is one of those games. This is in my favorites list because it's one of the games where I like to see how he handles what looks really, really weird to me. How do you guys handle it? Because I usually handle it by dropping down. I get angry and lose. Good response, FC. I definitely like your response. Anybody else have any other ideas? You can hear me typing knowing that I'm asking, maybe out of a sense of curiosity and also out of a sense of stalling while I do something. There we go. R10, drop down immediately. Yeah, cool. Trouble with this, though, is, I mean, you are leaving that corner kind of vulnerable. Black says, I'm going to kick first, which just isn't in my natural inclination, because as Heya just mentioned, like, yeah, what about the whole going under bit and stuff and things? But white fixes his stone, then white drops. Very curious. I guess if we did play here first, there's interesting odds left over. For instance, 1, we could do this. 2, we could do this. And now we can't really... We're definitely not going to cut, I don't think. That's too much Aji. I guess we'll back off? I don't know. It's hard to say how it's going to be used. But in the actual game, which I have not ruined the tree of yet, despite the fact that we're past 11 moves, thank you very much, white goes back and plays the Hane. And just like I mentioned, he's a player that's trying to live everywhere. Wow, I ruined the tree. Remind me not to say that ever again. It's a curse. Alright, so we have an opponent here who wants to live everywhere. Cool. How do we handle it, though? Well, first things first, keep separated. Alright, can follow that idea pretty well. Gonna keep that separated. And that's Sente, because we can Hane, that's really, really good for us, so we can still get strength there. Alright, alright, alright. Now that we have strength, and we're not entirely certain if we have Sente, now is the time to turn. And now that we can turn, these stones here of whites are in a lot of trouble. So he boldly proclaimed that he is going to live everywhere and reduce all of the things. But is that something that he can really do? Plays the Hane, trying to get himself some shape. White says that he's still going to be fine. Black remains aggressive against his shape. Oh, what? N12? Oh, N12 says, you know what? Yeah, you're probably going to live, so just go ahead and live. But Black says, you're not going to live, I'm going to kill you. So Black goes for the throat. Essentially, FC wanted to go take the shore cash. Let's just surround him, he gets to live, whatever. I'm just going to get surrounded and build up the whole influence bit. Lee Sedol, unsurprisingly, is a little bit more aggressive than you there, FC. So, can't live there, time to call no joy and get out. Keep separated. Again, this makes me nervous. Because fundamentally, I can see what Black's doing. Or what Black's doing, yeah. But on the other side of that, I also see that we're kind of giving White fourth line territory here. So that's a bit of an issue. It always makes me nervous when I'm doing something that you're typically not supposed to do for even a good reason. Yeah, KGS audio is really bad compared to Twitch. But then again, KGS doesn't let me encode my audio in like, what? 192K AAC, I think I'm using for my codec. So yeah, expected. But alright. We're coming on out. It's Black's move. He puts on pressure. Making sure that one group can't really get shape all that easy. And threatening to surround it again. So, has to jump out. And again, Black extends. As calm as anything. It's like, you can take some more fourth line territory if you'd like, because I'm still attacking you. White says, I'm going to go to fifth line, if that's okay for if we're good with this. As long as we're giving me territory, can I get a little bit more here? That'd be great. Black says, fine, help yourself. Fifth line? Absolutely. Take all the territories. On the bright side, White's shape still isn't the best right now, and Black follows it up by ensuring this is never going to be an eye. I mean, until then, maybe that there was, this, and maybe this, and maybe something like this. I mean, maybe there was forcing moves here. But now, bright side, two things. One, we're threatening to cut through, which is good. Two, we're keeping shape away from our opponent, which is also good. But White isn't exactly the most rational person, it seems. He decides, you know what? I'm playing this style where I'm trying to deny you getting anything that you want. So let's attack the corner as well. Now this does have some sense. Because we see the cut point, the corner's almost completely surrounded, sure. But Black just says, I'm going to connect. White says, I will too. But that seems kind of gote. So, Black uses his sente and pushes again. To which, once more, White's like, well, okay, I wanted fourth line, you gave me fourth line. I wanted fifth line, you gave me fifth line. Can I get sixth line now? Not to be greedy or anything, but I had my heart set on sixth line. Can I take that? Is that cool? So, White is just either the most confident person in the world, assuming that this group can somehow live, or he's just writing it off completely. decides to cut. White says, you can't reduce me. I fought for this fair and square. And then black does something that made me nervous. He is very, very good at using Anji. He goes back and takes advantage of this. And points out there are many, many cut points. White's still trying to kill. And now I will ask a question. Is the corner going to be alive, or is it going to die? Can black live there, do you think? Or are we just getting more forcing moves to completely take the middle of the board? What do you think's going on here? Anyone have any ideas? Oh, sorry, which corner? I do mean the upper left. I do mean this one. B14 and live. Okay, I see what you're going for. The whole threatening to cut through and then go over. Okay, okay. Right now, Omni, we would not actually go into the 3-3 because that would probably sacrifice our larger group of stones. But black just turns. No, Ko is coming up. Ko is coming up. He's just going to literally walk back there and live in the corner. First create Aji, force connect. And this is the one that is so important. Being able to read out that attachment. Because we can see here, let's go and do the right move first. Can we play this? Well, it looks like that's pretty straightforward. I mean, if we play here, we're playing into an Atari, so that's an issue. That's an issue. We could play here, but that doesn't seem like it's our friend, right? There's nothing really going on here that's a threat. We're just dead that way. I think. Actually, does that work if we do that? I suppose that is the best way to do it, huh? Kill that off and kill the left-hand side? Yeah, that probably is the best way to do that if white gets greedy and tries to kill it. Give him the stones that he's trying to kill, and in exchange, kill the stones that he was not trying to kill. Or get killed off, rather. So white says, you can't kill off my stones. We are going to live. So black makes some shape. And is thus pushed into life, with white being nice and connected. Aji, and life. Unfortunately, it is life in Gote. And because it's Gote, it means that black can go, or white can go back and try to make his stones live in the middle. So the question there is, can that actually happen? Black creates a cut point, which must be connected. And and then threatens. Or strengthens, sorry. White gives himself a little bit more to work with. Threatens to save all the things. Make sure that he can connect. Can't let ourselves be cut off now that we have been solidly cut off. Have to make certain that we've got Miai for connection so that our group doesn't die. But does let white go back in Atari. So it looks like white's getting everything he wanted to, sadly enough. Slowly but surely, he is escaping. So he did get to invade everything, and he did get to escape. How very, very unusual. But white's not letting him go easily. He is attacking wherever possible, getting pressure on his opponent. As we can see here, starts all the ko. This isn't the ko I was referring to either, by the way, just so you know. The ko I'm referring to is much better, you'll see in a moment. But this is definitely an interesting game, because throughout this fighting, it looks like the stones that we're trying to attack white are slowly being swallowed. So black has to be careful. Takes. White simply defends. And now here's the thing most people in this chat would probably miss. And I'm taking a peek at Twitch chat just to make sure no one said it there either. I don't think so. Okay. And that thing is that the left-hand side is not completely okay yet. There is a throw-in, and that throw-in is very, very important. Because right now, it looks like white's getting away with everything that he wanted. He's able to just play everywhere, live everywhere, wreck everything black was trying to do. With the slight exception that his left group isn't actually okay just yet. Has to connect. Okay. Tries to escape, says no you don't. Black says yes I do. Little bit of Aji here. Tries to cut off. Doesn't allow it. Throws in for shortage of liberties. Forces white or black to play again. And now that he's cut off, can we live here locally? Well, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? How did I do that? Seriously. How did we manage that one? You. Thank you very much. Yep. Here's the ko. Now we have to Atari. And go to ko. White says I kill you. Black says Aji. White says no. We're going back to this. Black extends. White moves for the kill. Black play Atari. White finally responds back to here. Doesn't want, you know, all of his stones dying on top. That would be kind of bad. White plays the Hane. White takes. Black plays the Atari. White takes. So clearly lost the ko. But now the question is simple. What the heck is going on in the center? Exactly, FC. White's like, you know what? You want the middle? Well, I can play A18 and kill the upper left. So it looks like this is just an exchange, right? One group for the other. But with the taking of his group, Black says, no, you cannot kill this. So now it's White needing to live again. So he takes, connects, maximizing all the Aji. Extends. Definitely defends, that cut point's large. Can't let that happen. Can't let that happen. Trying to connect up. Allowing ourselves to be able to cut. No reason to. We can keep everything nicely enclosed right now. White tries to Atari out. Doesn't take because there's no need to right now. I mean, how many different ways do we have to be safe? We've got this way to be safe. We've now got this way to be safe. Yeah, a lot of ways that we're going to be completely okay here. So we can extend. Our 3 stones in the middle at L, whatever they are. 6 are completely okay. These are obviously times Suji. More times Suji, I think. White connects, plays the ladder. That is not a ladder because it goes into immediate Atari. I guess he's going all in trying to take the bottom or something? Not really sure what White's doing at this point, to be honest. Looking for anything that might work. But Black knows exactly what's important, the middle stones. If they die, game over. So let's just make ourselves nice and solid, then go back and kill. White struggles. True to Lee Sedol's style, he's not giving up anything. There's like no compromise going on here at all. It's like, nope, that stone's not gonna die either. Sorry. So that gets connected. And as you can see here, nothing is really dying. I mean, we can sacrifice that, but that doesn't go anywhere. There's a little bit in the bottom right-hand corner that's maybe something for White to do, but it's too much because the middle is dead. And that's too much. Too much, too much, too much. And of course, every game where I see someone who's being horribly greedy get completely destroyed is always a game that I have my eye on, I think. Didn't even look like it was going to either. I mean, it looked like he was going to be completely fine. Looked like he was completely getting away with everything, including killing the stone that was trying to attack it. But because life and death is important, there was still that co. And a veritable co-factory of threats that White just couldn't keep responding to. Had to give up in order to capture. So yeah, interesting games, I thought. And these are back from 2002. So probably games that many of you have probably never seen before. So I hope you've enjoyed them. This month, unless there's like a really, really, really great game, I intend to do a bunch of games that are from back in the day, I guess you would say. Next time I intend to go over some old Yi Cheng Ho games. maybe some of his games where you can see that old style of his where he gave his opponent everything that he wanted and was still able to win. I kind of want to go over a few of those. So I'm probably going to be doing those next lecture. So you can look forward to that or not if you like that.